everywhere.
He lives in Switzerland. All right, so I'm here, and I'm with my buddy right here, just added to Crypto Kings, the movie, line producer Grant Gilmore. But in a second, we're here. We just had this is part of our update. We just had a major meeting, and I'm gonna interview Grant to bring you guys up to speed where we are and what our compliments. Oh, what's a compliment? Ooh, I'm getting tongue tied, Grant. But anyways, where we are. Okay, so and we're bringing Grant Gilmore into the Crypto Kings fold. He is also going to be into the movie Coin. He's going to be a recipient of that as he comes on as our producer. Again, the first movie ever in Hollywood history to have cryptocurrency tied to a movie project where we're going to be accepting Bitcoin, Litecoin, all the forms of crypto. But I'm going to pass this over to Grant so he can explain to you why we're excited to have him aboard. So, Grant.
Yes, Richard.
Tell the people what projects you've done so that they'll understand your position here with us as a line producer and your past experiences.
I'll try to do a headlines only. I'm a third generation. My grandfather my name's Stuart Gilmore, was a top editor, did big films in the 60s, 50s, and 40s. My father was a producer who unfortunately just passed away, William Gilmore. He did Jaws, Midnight Run, The Player, Few Good Men.
The Player, was that a Robert Altman film? Okay, I know it.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Tim Robbins was in it, right?
Right.
In The Player, okay.
Right. Little Shop of Horrors, White Knights.
Little Shop of Horrors had Martin Short in it?
That's correct.
Okay. I know my movies.
So, actually, from Jaws, he was really good buddies with Robert Shaw.
The captain, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I grew up around the film business, as you can see. So, once I graduated college, my first film was Against All Odds.
With, which are the Bridge brothers? Bo or?
No, the other one.
I know, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Against All Odds. And you had that song that Phil Collins made famous that started the movie. What I'm trying to do is bring people, because we have a younger audience, they might not have or familiar with these films, but go ahead.
And so I worked my way up from the set. I'm a true filmmaker's son. Got into the Directors Guild in the late 80s and did big films. I worked on Midnight Run. I did a American Pippi Longstocking film. I did Field of Dreams. I did Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, Rocky 5. I did The Sandlot. I did a variety of other pictures, and then by the late 90s, I finally was a producer on my own films. And I've done films for essentially the past 20 years. I did Sideways for Japan. I did Rain. I did.
Rain, was that the Kirk Douglas movie?
No, there's been several.
Oh, that's Black Rain. I'm sorry.
No, not Black Rain. This one's called Rain.
Rain.
I did Six Below.
Which Six Below is a Arctic movie or?
No, it was a movie about a guy who got lost in Mammoth and for many days and somehow made it out alive.
A survivor story.
We took that to Utah. We shot it in Utah a couple of years ago. And the last film was, done a variety of other films. So there you are. I'm a line producer, and I can manage any film at set or away from the set.
So your job basically for us is to manage the budget, divide up the expenses, and come up with a budget above the line and below the line for...
Basically, the way to look at it is my job is to manage the film from a bank account and a script all the way to when it's up on the screen or however it's distributed. The whole process. I can manage, I can hire everybody, I can schedule it, I can literally guide the whole process through production, into post, all the way to delivery. So that's my forte in producing.
So the inside joke that you and I have, we've been talking almost like for the last 2 or 3 months, almost on a every other day basis. So the inside joke that I have with you that I want people to be aware of is that your attachment to two major movies has spawned some famous lines, and I always use these on you. It's like if from the Field of Dreams, what is that line? The famous line, the Kevin Costner film. If you build it, they'll come. Right.
Sure.
So that's what we're working on.
When we shot it.
Right. And the other movie, The Sandlot, the famous tagline there is "You're killing me, Smalls." Right.
There's a lot of taglines in that movie, but yes, I was there for that too.
There. So that's kind of like the things we go back and forth, and I'll say something about, that's another residual I just generated for you at the end of the month. You get the cash in. But anyways, so that's significant. What I want people to know is, well, I'm going to tell them this: that Grant Gilmore. Let me just say this: Grant Gilmore was the only one that's been really supportive from day one that I gave him the script. And the story goes is that we faxed over or scanned over and emailed the script to him. Unfortunately, we didn't know that we were missing 12 pages, the last 12 pages. But by the time I left the office after scanning this thing, by the time I got home, which is about half hour later, Andy, my partner, is already calling me saying that Grant read the first 60 pages and where the F is the rest of the script. He was all excited about it then. So that told me something. So we got the next pages to you the next day. But my point is that Grant read the script as soon as he got it. He's the only one to read the script. And I think, in about 3 hours, you went through it?
Yes, but it's a Hollywood thing. A lot of people don't read. You would be surprised how many filmmakers and people involved with films don't read the script. But I'm a true filmmaker, so I read the script. I got to know what the heck I'm going to try to make or potentially be involved with or attach myself to. And it was a really good read. It was very interesting, very unique, very true to Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency world, which I think is very important. But it's a catch me if you can tied in with an action adventure.
Like Die Hard,
I think it's a Die Hard
or Born Supremacy.
Exactly.
Born Identity.
So bottom line is that it's a very unique, it's a huge picture. It's going to shoot in multiple continents. It's kind of a one of a kind, like Catch Me If You Can. And
just to bring we got some late viewers up to speed. What Grant Gilmore is describing what his impressions were when he read the movie script, and that was in its first draft. And then you read the second draft, and we have the third draft. So we're ready to rock and roll with this. But I want Grant just to give you some insights on what intrigued him or captured his attention about the movie.
Well,
or the
as
script.
I said, I liked it. I think it's, as I said, very unique. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. There's a lot of action, a lot of interesting characters, and it will open up the world to the cryptocurrency world. And it'll be very interesting to make. I mean, anybody involved with this film is going to have a real good time. Richard, this is going to be filmmaking 101 at its highest level because of all the different facets in making a multi-continent film.
A multi-international film. And that's what we were talking about in the meeting today, that we talked about as far as two main locations that we might have to incorporate or rewrite into the script. And that's going to Malta and filming a lot of in the country of Malta, and also going to London and
That's
doing
correct.
certain things.
So basically this film will be somewhere in the U.S. That takes place in Seattle and Los Angeles, which is probably going to be some of that LA. There'll be an Asian contingent that's for Singapore and Hong Kong. It takes a little bit of it is in Dubai. And then I just found out, and then of course the film also, it goes to Iceland.
Right.
And finally, I just found out that we have to shoot some of this in Malta and possibly in London. So I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to figure out what I can do. Probably end up building our interiors, which is kind of getting into the weeds in filmmaking. But we'll probably do stage work in Malta. I was actually there as a kid. My dad did a film in the 60s called Hellboats that shot, it was a war film that shot in Malta. So I've actually been there, went to school there for a little while as a kid. So this is all still in motion. We're not exactly sure what and where. One of the next steps on the film is to do what's called a budget and a schedule. If anybody in the film business knows what that is, and that will be kind of our second and third dimension. Our first dimension is the script. Obviously, the script tells the story. We take a schedule, we schedule the movie, which will probably be, the first pass will be about a 50-day schedule, 12-hour days, plus travel time for various locations. And the final, that's a second dimension, gives you a whole other way to look at a film. And then the third dimension is the budget. And we will get a budget done. We'll take this whole process. It's going to take me probably 3 weeks. A ton of work. I'll be talking to film commissions in various countries, various states, and doing all kinds of research in addition to lining all this up. But that'll be our next step.
So a lot of intricate moving parts to get this film done. But the whole point is that, and you guys are seeing the beginning stages, the ground floor swirl that we're creating, and really all the technical things that have to happen and take place. And so the whole point of interviewing Grant is to explain this to you guys, where we are, where we're going, and how we're going to do it. And bottom line, Grant, I said that since I've created this movie, the storyline, then that's it. I'm just following your lead now, and this project can get done whether I live or die tomorrow,
Well, not exactly. You are tied to the rights. You own the rights are like the title to a property. There are certain people that own the rights. They're the main producers, and you're one of them. So you're tied to it no matter what happens. But yes, what you end up learning as you get into this process is you need a lot of people to make a film.
It takes a village.
It takes a huge village, especially this one. It's going to take multiple villages in multiple different places.
And that's because we're filming on 4 continents at least,
yes.
Or 5 maybe.
A lot of films are shot in one place, maybe 2. This one's going to be all over the place, but it's going to make it that much more interesting and fun to be able to follow along.
Amen. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Just be on the lookout now that Grant's on board here as a line producer. His job is to make sure things get done and that we're moving along, and we're operating in a budget that he is going to compile and put together for everybody on the crew here. So he's got his hands full, kind of.
Yes, I do.
Exactly. So I'm going to continue with to promote it and market it, and Grant's going to be in the office paper pushing, I guess.
It'll be at least that.
All right. So, and that's it, folks. We're up to date. All right. Take care. Goodbye. And then goodbye. There we go.